If you want to succeed, you have to be a little bit crazy and you cannot give up. That's it. I always say to people, successful people, they're always trying to find a way how to do it. You have to see a little bit and achieve it bit by bit. Vision, funny thing is, you will achieve all of your goals, but vision is something that you will never catch. And that's a good thing.
We have Jake Smolarek with us today, high performance coach and entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience and coaching. He helps ambitious people scale fast, build smarter, and create businesses that serve their lives, not consume them. So what we're going to be talking a little bit about today is how does the coaching process work? Who is it right for? And we've got a signature framework that we're going to go through that is going to give those of you who are looking at taking your life and your business to the next level. Jake, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I noticed in your bio that you did windsurfing. So let's maybe talk a little bit about windsurfing and what that taught you. How, have you brought any of those insights into your training and into your coaching work and into your business life?
It's actually kite surfing, not
Kite
windsurfing.
surfing.
Yeah, it's similar, but yeah, kite surfing is a little bit more exciting for me. When you're learning, it usually takes anything between 10 to 20 hours to get decent at it. And at the very beginning, it's very frustrating. I'm one of those people who always take way more time to learn something, but I never give up. It's just like, if it's 20 hours, then it's 20 hours. If it's 10,000 hours, then, just go and do it because the time will pass anyway. As Nike says, just do it, right? And I remember that I really wanted to give up when I started learning kite surfing. It doesn't matter if it's running a business or doing anything else. If you want to succeed, you have to be a little bit crazy and you just don't have to, you cannot give up. That's it.
I suppose like in business, when you start out kite surfing, you figure out there are certain muscles or certain things that you never knew you had before and that you really wish you'd practiced or worked on before you actually started it. So I bet you your arm muscles are shaking like this. And that is a good example to use in business. When you start out, you think, this is easy enough, I can do this. But after it starts getting a bit tough, you need HR, finance, all of these different skills that you didn't know you need. And that's where coaching comes in. You only know what you need after you've actually failed.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to people, yes, you have to learn a lot of skills. You also have to learn how to delegate, because when you run a business, you cannot just do everything. Learn the skill of delegation, especially from the very beginning. And I understand some people would say like, yeah, but at the very beginning, you cannot do, you have to do everything because you don't have the money, etc. Like, yeah, but you can always rely on friends and family and stuff like that. So there's always a way. I always say to people, successful people always trying to find a way how to do it. People try to find a reason not to do it. Yes, at the beginning you have to do everything, but it's really good to start learning how to delegate. But what I want to say is, in business, every single skill is learnable. Everybody can do it. For some people, it might take hours, 10,000 hours to be good at something. So when people say, I cannot do it because I wasn't born with the success chromosome, that's not true. You can learn anything, but you have to stick to it for long enough until you will be good at it.
Let's dive into your signature frameworks. And I just want to, before we go into these 3 steps that you've got, or your 3 most requested frameworks, you've been working in business for over 2 decades. You've been doing coaching for a while as well. These processes or these frameworks that you've developed, where did they come from? Is this something that you just wrote down because you thought people need some structure? Is it a combination of your learnings? Just maybe talk to me about what is the background of your frameworks and works, and how do we start implementing them?
It's fairly. I mean, let me give you an example with the vision, just as an example, right? I created that about 10 years ago in 2015. But it's not that like one day I was just like, hey, suddenly I have this idea about the Vision GPS and I know exactly what it is. No, it was years of you know, experience, years of working with people, working with clients, running businesses. And a division GPS, for example, is like when I was studying successful people, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or Richard Branson, they all have one thing in common: massive vision. When Bill Gates was talking about a PC on every desk, in every household, people were like crazy. But those people, because they were crazy and they had this massive vision, but you have to have a vision first. We all must have a vision. And I remember about 10 or maybe even 11 years ago, I was talking to one of my coaching clients. You must have vision. And he was asking like, yeah, but how am I going to achieve it? What is going to lead me to that vision? I said, listen, to achieve that vision, you don't have to see the entire road. You just have to see a little bit and achieve it bit by bit. I need a GPS to get me there, to show me the map. And I was like, oh, vision GPS, that's interesting. And then I started working on that framework, 4 different ingredients. First of all, it's vision. I always ask people, what is it that you want? Like, what kind of life do you want to have? Because you have to plan it. Otherwise, you're going to be drifting. I always say that vision is where do you want to go? And then you have that GPS, which is an acronym from goals, planning process, and systems. Because we must have goals, but goals are not enough. So if you have that GPS, it will take you to your destination. But eventually you will get there if you have goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, mid-term goals, and then you need to have a planning process in place. It must be a planning process. You have to be flexible about it. And then you must have different systems. Google Ads, a system that works 24 hours. Search engine optimization, a system that works 24 hours. Those systems that will help you to get into your destination.
Setting a vision is one of the most complicated things people can do, but it is also very simple. Oh, well, Steve Jobs' goal was to get a computer in every house. That to get to that point took a lot of planning, a lot of work, a lot of coming up with this is the right vision. And I want to ask you, in terms of coming up with these goals and visions, how difficult is it coming up with a really compelling vision for oneself?
It takes some time. Some people are so clear and vivid about their vision that they exactly know what they want. A lot of people kind of stop dreaming. When you are a kid, you want to be an astronaut, you want to do this and go there and do crazy stuff. And then you grow up and you have to be a grown up, you have to get a job and do lots of things. You kind of stop dreaming. And I think that we all have that vision inside of us. We all know that we wanted to do great things and achieve great successes, but then we stop dreaming. But we all have this kind of vision inside, but we just have to sit down and start dream a little bit and start writing down what kind of ideal life I would like to have. And if your vision is not clear, then give yourself 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, even 12 months if necessary, even 2 years, right? Because I think most people, they plan their holidays or vacations, as Americans would say. They plan their wedding. They plan maybe a birthday party, but that's it. But they never plan their life. And it's when I talk about vision, it's not that you're going to sit down today evening and then you're going to have a vision for your entire life. No, it will take some time. Also, vision, funny thing is, you will achieve all of your goals, but vision is something that you will never catch. And that's a good thing. You will be chasing in it's your entire life, but it's a good thing because there's something that is that North Star, because 10 years from now, you will achieve your vision from 10 years ago, and now you have new vision. Now you have new things that you want to achieve, new places that you want to visit, and that's good. Because you have something to think about. You have something that will push you when you have a bad day, for example. Successful people, they don't have motivation every day, but they have discipline every day. That's the massive difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Sometimes I explain If someone is asking me like, what's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people? It's like unsuccessful people, they are afraid and they're not doing anything. Successful people, they also afraid and they just do the things that are necessary to achieve whatever they want to achieve.
I know you mentioned the just do it a little bit earlier from Nike as well. It is such a powerful phrase which has lost a lot of its sort of meaning because it's been overused so much. But just do it is something I mention in my class quite often when people are afraid, like you mentioned, just do it. Just start and things magically fall into place. And that discipline side is absolutely the secret sauce for
100%.
success.
100. But by the way, do you know what word in this 3-word phrase is the most important?
No.
Just. Because if someone tell you do something, it feels like an order. When you say just do it, it feels like, hey, it's possible. It might be tough, it might be difficult, it might not be easy, it's possible.
I like that. Yeah, there's so much meaning in that short little phrase. But since we're talking about vision, let's maybe have a look at what a good example of a vision is. And I love that you mentioned that a vision isn't set in stone. It is something that needs it should be slightly out of reach. What is Jake Smollarek's vision? And how has that changed over the last 20 years since you started? Perhaps
it's changing all the time, to be honest with you. I'm chasing that vision, and I love it. Like, for example, when I was 19 and I came to the UK with 150 pounds in my pocket, my vision was to make a lot of money. And for me, a lot of money was like, wow, maybe about 50,000 pounds a year. Which, is it a lot of money? It depends. It depends. For me, as a 19-year-old, I was a massive vision. This is what I wanted to achieve. And I asked myself, how can I do this? I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I knew that I'm going to do it. And then I found myself a mentor, and I asked him quite a few important questions, and he gave me some clues on what to do. And I started achieving that vision, and that vision started to grow and grow and grow. I wanted to have my own business. I built that business. I failed many times. But then my mentor told me, like, don't worry, everybody fails. If you fail, just get up and try again. I think failing, you can only call yourself a failure if you try something and then you gave up. But if you try something, it didn't work out, and you try again, and you try again, and you try again and again and again, it's not really a failure. It's a feedback. You failed, you learn, you get up, and you try again. And that was always my vision, that it doesn't matter what I will never give up. I can change my mind. I can change GPS, take the different routes to get to that destination, but I will never give up, because that's the whole point of having that GPS. No matter what's happening, it's not about because something happened. No, it's just take a different route, take a different road. That GPS will take you there. Again, successful people, they're looking for answers. Unsuccessful people looking for excuses. But yeah, my vision is huge. To buy my mom her own apartment. And when I achieved that goal, when I said, this is your apartment, I was like, what next? I need something bigger than that. It was planning and everything and execution. But yeah, part of my vision is to help to create another 10,000 entrepreneurs who will build very successful but meaningful businesses that will help other people. Not a massive vision, but for me, it's big enough.
Well, it always reminds me of that entrepreneur who nearly gave up when he wasn't having very much success with his soft drink called Six Up. So there's always just keep at it. There's the vision GPS, which we just talked about, which is a 4-part model. So we've discussed through that. 3 steps to winning a gold medal.
I call it 3 steps to win your gold medal. Now, your gold medal is a metaphor for anything that you want to achieve. And the 3 steps are, step number 1 is you have to believe that you can actually do it. And this is where most people give up. They think, I try, but it's not enough. You have to know that you can actually do it. And this is the hardest thing to do, to actually believe in you. It's like when you watch those athletes or Olympians who are hungry at success. They're looking at the gold medal at the Olympics and it's mine, nobody else's. I will win it. This kind of attitude, a little bit crazy, a little bit obsessed. The successful people who already succeeded, obsessed about success. So the step number one, you really have to believe it. And it's harder than most people think. But once you believe that, yes, you can do it. But the step number two is work. You have to go to the gym every day, 7 days a week, for the next 7 to 10 years, every single day, no skipping a day. And this is step number two, just doing the work. Sometimes you're excited, sometimes not. Sometimes you have motivation, sometimes not. But you have to have that discipline. And then 7 years from now, people will call you lucky. And the step number three, you just go to the Olympic because you did step number one. You did step number two. Now step number three is to win your gold medal. It's just formality.
Jake, you're talking too much sense, because a lot of the coaches out there are saying 7 days to get rich. The reason why most people fall for this is because they want a quick fix.
Yeah.
They want something that in 3 days or 7 days, I'm going to be successful. But you don't learn all the skills. You don't build the networks.
Right.
You don't build the resilience that is necessary for running a business or being successful with 3 easy steps or with a 7-day action plan. So you're saying that this is a difficult process. This means hard work and suffering, but the end result is worth it. So let's talk about your last one, which is called No 0 Days. And I like this concept, so I'd like you to expand on it. And it's talking about that 1% rule. So let's get into this final one.
So if you want to succeed, you have to do something every single day that is taking you closer to your vision. You cannot work on 100% every day, but you can work on 70%, sometimes 60, sometimes 80. But from time to time, if you have a bad day, it's okay, but don't do nothing because you will regret it tomorrow. Do something, do as little as possible, send one email, read one page of the book, anything. And why? Because usually if you do one page, then you will motivate yourself to maybe read 2 pages. You will send one email, and I have challenges that I will run every day for 40 days, sometimes 50 days, sometimes 90 days. And how do you do that? I don't go for a 10K run. I will go for 1 kilometer. Okay, I'll do another one, and I'll do another one. And sometimes I'll do 10, sometimes I'll do 12. From time to time, you just do it. If you don't feel like going to the gym, just dress up, go to the gym, do nothing, and go back home. At least you went to the gym. But when you do that, you go to the gym and you are like, you know what? I'm already here. I'll do 5 minutes. And maybe you will do 5, maybe you'll do 15. But now you did something and you feel, tomorrow you feel better about this. And once you have a day that you do something every day, you're making progress. And you're making progress every day. I base that framework a little bit on the Kaizen philosophy, Japanese Kaizen philosophy, where you say like you're becoming better every day. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Even 1% is way more if someone is doing nothing or if they want to catch up. And also, it's very important to understand why. Because building momentum takes loads of energy, but keeping momentum going, easy. That's why it's better to keep that momentum even if you have a bad day, because if you keep it, it's easy to keep it. But once you lose the momentum, building tremendous amount of energy and time.
Well, Jake, it sounds like you'd be a fantastic psychologist and also a fantastic Olympic psychologist to keep athletes motivated. So perhaps you can stick that on your vision board. Jake, how can folks get in touch with you, and what kind of offers do you have for folks that they can have a look at if they're interested in learning some of these life lessons and how they can apply it to their own lives?
Anyone can get in touch with me. They can just Google Jake Smolarek. I only work with selected amount of people, but I will talk to anyone.
Well, Jake, I really appreciate you spending some time with us and taking us through those 3 processes. And I was just to remind folks that those are only 3 of many that Jake brings to the table. So go to his website, which is jakesmolarek.com, You can find him on LinkedIn, and I'll put the link in the description. Jake, thank you for your insights.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me.
I really do appreciate your comments, so why not go and watch this live on YouTube, or go to my website, kuhne.no, that's kuhne.no, for more information.